Hey guys, it's Kevin again. This is my review for Glee Season 6, Episode 9, Child Star. And this episode, I'm going to admit, guys, I was not looking forward to it. I really wasn't. I thought that it looked like a filler episode and literally wasn't really going to have any impact. We're on Episode 9 and we have 5 episodes left and they're bringing in some random character. It just seemed dumb to me. And how was this episode? Yeah, I had a lot of problems with tonight's episode, but besides those few problems, I actually liked a lot of stuff about tonight's episode as well, if that makes any sense. I'm going to talk about that. But let's first get into the main storyline tonight, which honestly drove me insane. I have to say, I was not looking forward to it. I thought it looked dumb, and let's just get into it. Our main storyline tonight focused on this kid, Myron. Sue, as we know, has a huge crush on the superintendent and wants to do whatever she can to get together with him, and basically, once again, makes herself look like the best principal ever. And again, guys, if you guys remember, the last time they introduced this storyline, I hated that episode. Puppet Master, fuck that episode. It was one of the worst episodes Glee's ever done. Not the worst episode. The worst episode was the Hurt Locker Part 1. That is the worst episode they've ever done. But she is a crush on the superintendent and basically wants to make herself look like the best teacher ever. So she goes up to him and basically tries to flirt with him and get him to, tell him that she wants to win Principal of the Year award. And basically, he ends up telling her that his grandson, I keep saying son, his grandson has a bar mitzvah and he wants to talk to Sue about it. So Sue decides to get the Glee Club to watch him perform for them to perform at his bar mitzvah, and they don't get a chance to say no. This kid, Myron, is the most annoying kid Glee could have ever introduced. Okay, and you know what's sad about it? All the kids, all of the newbies, I have absolutely loved every single one of them and adored every single one of them. In fact, I have said that they are better than the Season 4 newbies. This kid is worse than Marley, Jake, and Ryder combined. Like, he is the most annoying thing I have ever seen on Glee. He is more annoying than Sue. That is how annoying he is. I'm saying that right now, he is more annoying than Sue. He is so annoying, and he literally is the kind of kid that will go up to his backup dancers, start yelling at them, think that he is the best thing ever, and he's just so fucking annoying to me. And let's talk about the song he sang, Lose My Breath by Destiny's Child. Why the fuck would you give him that song? Why would you give him that song to sing? That song is about sex, and he's 13, and he's a guy, and it's weird. I didn't find anything talented about that. I found it weird. I found it uncomfortable. The looks that Madison and Mason had on their face, that was the look that I had. I refused to buy that song. Like, I'm not buying that song. It's stupid. I'm not buying it. And it was dumb. So, he performs that song and everything, and I have to say, while they're blown away by how talented he is, they keep talking about the whole episode, oh, he's so talented, oh, he's so damn talented. He's really not. He sang a pop song. That doesn't mean he's talented. There's a little thing called Kids Bop. That's what that sounded like to me. It sounded like a Kids Bop version of that song. He's not very talented. I've seen much more talented 13-year-olds that can do that. I've seen much more talented 13-year-olds. If you guys don't believe me, look up When I Grow Up, Broadway's Next Generation on iTunes. You will be amazed. Okay, that's all I'm going to say is that you will be amazed just by the talent on there. You'll be amazed. He was really not that good. So, I like that they were kind of hesitant on not wanting to do the bar mitzvah. Like, Rachel's like, oh, we're preparing for sectionals. I like that they did that because it would have been weird if they would have just randomly done the bar mitzvah. No, I like they actually thought about it. That was one of the things I actually really liked about this episode was Rachel and Will. I have to say, not having Kurt there tonight, I actually really enjoyed. I know I said that I really do like Rachel and Kurt as friends, but I do not like Kurt coaching the New Directions. I really don't. I think not having Kurt there actually use Rachel's, reign of being a director as an advantage because Will's kind of second fiddle right now. He's not really doing much. He's there to give her advice and things like that. He's there to basically just be a mentor to all of them. That's why he's there. Rachel gives the assignments and everything, and I like seeing that. I do. I have to say, I really do like Rachel in this position. Never thought I'd say that, but I really like Rachel in this position. I think they actually used that to their advantage tonight, and I definitely really enjoyed that. And that's one of the things I legitimately really liked about this episode. I'll get to that. There was a very good scene between them at the end of this episode that I definitely want to talk about. So, they do, basically, they're very hesitant about doing this and everything, and, basically, Will talks to Rachel about if the kids really even want to do this and if they like Broadway. And I like that he asked her, did you talk to the kids? Do you know them? What are their interests and things like that? Because, he wants her to get to know the kids better. And she really hasn't talked to them. And I love that he says, because you're always talking and everything. And that really doesn't go anywhere, but it is just showing that Rachel, he's trying to get Rachel to be a better director. And I like seeing that because it shows that even though Rachel is director, she was never meant to be a director. Like, she's only doing this again as a temporary thing. She's going back to Broadway eventually, and I like that they keep touching upon that. I definitely enjoy seeing that. It does seem like Will is trying to kind of coax her to stay, which I don't think is going to happen. Will's definitely, there's no way she's going to stay, because we know at the end of the show she ends up leaving for Broadway. I think we all know that. But basically, I love seeing Sue's position in this episode, I do have to say. I love seeing Sue as basically Myron's personal assistant. Was probably some of the funniest stuff we had in tonight's episode. I mean, after all she did to the Glee Club and the Hurt Locker and everything, she deserved the torture that she went through. She deserved what happened to her in this episode. I thought what happened to her was hilarious, and I loved it, and just what happened to her, what ended up happening, I thought was actually very funny. I definitely really enjoyed that. I thought it was very funny, and actually one of my favorite parts of the episode was seeing Sue doing that. Because Sue deserves all that treatment, and to see Sue so out of it and everything, like, I don't think you guys should have done and everything. And he actually ended up making them the backup dancers, so it's Sue, Sheldon, Will, Rachel, and Sam. It's them performing for Myron, and then we get one of the most out-of-place things in this episode. This was completely out of place, and just, I did not like this at all. Sue and Will, they're practicing the dancing and everything, and Sue ends up going apeshit on Will just because Will calls her Susie Q. She goes completely apeshit on him. She starts just going completely she attacks him, and I like seeing the Will-Sue interaction back. It's a lot like Season 1, which I definitely really enjoy. It's kind of a throwback to that, but I don't like seeing Sue as basically the devil, because think about it, guys. She is basically being portrayed this season as the devil. She really is. I mean, the fact that they even made us care about her in previous seasons, that's what makes me so upset about this storyline. And it's not the worst we've seen Sue. The worst we've seen Sue is the Hurt Locker. This was not as bad as that, but it seems like they're trying to get back to that, which I'm really annoyed by, because I actually like seeing her as wanting to take down the Glee Club, but actually has a soul, because she didn't have a soul in this episode. She legitimately did not have a soul in the second half of this episode. Suddenly it just went out the window. Suddenly. It was weird. And basically, she's yelling at Will, telling him that she's going to continue. There's World War II to come and everything, and it's just really dumb. And I'm really sick of it, I have to say. And basically, they end up performing Break Free, and I legitimately liked the performance. I definitely really enjoyed it. Didn't like hearing Myron sing, but it was okay, I guess. Definitely, I thought that was good. And then we get to my least favorite part of this episode, which this twist literally is one of the dumbest twists Glee has ever done. And I don't know how the hell this would have worked, because you're telling me that basically the superintendent convinced the school that because Myron was so talented, because he was so gifted, he was too good for junior high, and transferred him to McKinley, and now he's a member of New Directions. Here's what this kid's gonna do. He's going to turn people against each other. He's gonna start drama. He's a diva. And just because he's so talented does not mean he should join Glee Club. And that is one of the dumbest twists I've ever heard now. It would be legitimate. It would make more sense. Like, I would legitimately care for this kid if they would reveal more about his background, which they don't. All we know about him is that he's a stuck-up bastard child who will not shut the fuck up, who is extremely annoying, who's extremely controlling, and just, if I had to deal with a kid like that, I would just be like, no, I'm not performing for you. Like, even if I was told to perform, I'd be like, no, I would not perform for that kid. Okay, I wouldn't. That kid does not deserve a bar mitzvah. I'm sorry. Those rich, snobby kids do not deserve bar mitzvahs. The only reason they get that is because they're so fucking rich and snobby. And that's what that kid is. He's a rich, snobby son of a bitch, and he's so annoying. And just the fact that he joined Glee Club I thought was so annoying. I will say that he does have good taste in women, because he ends up flirting with Kitty, and he does have good taste in women. I will definitely say that. Kitty is the hottest woman on this show. And, yeah, so he does have good taste in women. Even though Kitty rejected his date. But I do not buy that he is straight. I don't buy it. He's too flamboyant. He's too just... There's no way. I don't buy that kid is straight. I'm sorry. I don't buy it. I'm not trying to sound homophobic, but I do not buy it that kid is straight. I do not buy it. So, I really love the performance of Cool Kids. I have to say, all the songs in this episode were legitimately very good. I definitely really enjoyed. Minus Lose My Breath. Minus that. All the other songs are very good this episode. And I thought Cool Kids was a great way to end it. I definitely really enjoyed it. I really like the conversation with Will and Rachel at the end, where Will's telling Rachel how far she's come and how the Glee Club's always going to grow and how they're going to be new members every single year. I definitely really enjoyed that. So that's basically all the bad stuff out of the way. That's the stuff I didn't like about this episode. Let's get into stuff that I legitimately really enjoyed about this episode, because the other two plots I thought were actually very well done in this episode. We had two other plots, and one of them I loved, the other one I didn't like at first, but then I really liked it. Spencer and Roderick, let's get to them first, because this was the one I was kind of like, I don't know. I have really liked Spencer and Roderick's characters, and one of the things I loved that this episode did is that it chose to focus, because we are almost to the second half of the season. We are in the second half of the season now. We've gotten the wedding out of the way. We've gotten, Santana and Brittany's wedding. We've gotten Kurt and Blaine's plot out of the way. We need to start focusing on the new directions, the newbies specifically. We know about Kitty. We don't need to focus on her. We need to focus on Spencer, Roderick, Jane, Mason, Madison. Those are the people we need to focus on, because we don't know them yet. So I like this episode. They decided that we need to focus on them because, yeah, we do have to. Especially because in 2 episodes, sectionals. There's going to be sectionals in 2 weeks. Also, My School Musical is in 2 weeks. And I'm going to miss it. So, yeah. There's a video coming up on that. It's coming up this weekend, guys. I promise you. That's coming up this weekend. An announcement about all that. But basically, Roderick and Spencer, they're in gym class. Roderick can't climb a rope because he's too chubby and fat and everything, and Sue's insulting him. And Spencer wants to have him beef up, basically, and is being really a dick to him. And one of the things I didn't like is that it didn't go beyond Roderick just saying, you're a dick. And Spencer likes this guy, Alistair, I think his name is, and he has feelings for him, and he ends up basically looking like a dick in front of him, and he wonders why nobody really wants to talk to him, and he keeps just pushing Roderick to, pushing him, and Roderick can't take it anymore. He thinks that he is going way too far, and I have to say, he really is being a dick. I didn't like the way he was being written, especially because they've gotten us to care for him. I didn't like the way Spencer was being written. I will say, I really enjoyed his performance. Friday, I'm in love. Marshall Williams is really improving as a singer. I mean, he was really not good in the first half of the season, but he's really improving as a singer. I think he did a very good job on that song. Now, let's talk about what I really did like. They're at the bar mitzvah, and basically Myron ends up getting trapped on this rope, and Roderick ends up helping him, and everyone is very happy. Spencer encourages Roderick to help him. I really like that, except for seeing Myron be like, oh my god, like, that was just annoying to see. I literally was like, Myron, just shut the fuck up, like, seriously, I don't care about you. I legitimately don't care about Myron. I know we're probably never gonna, we're gonna see this kid again. It is very annoying that we have to see him again, but I really just don't want to see him again. I really don't, and I really enjoy it if we don't have to see him again. I know we do, though, because now he's in the Glee Club, whatever, but Spencer actually does end up getting close with Alistair, and I liked Alistair's character. My problem is I don't think we got enough of this. I don't think we did. I think that this was completely rushed, and I did not like the way they did this. I liked what happened with Spencer. I like that we saw that Spencer legitimately cared for Roderick, but that whole thing with Spencer just caring for Roderick, having him climb a rope, seemed completely just out of nowhere, and I did not like it. I loved Uptown Funk, though. That was awesome. I love that song. I love hearing it. It's a song that never gets old. Today, there was like this, and you know why I enjoyed it? I will tell you guys why I enjoyed it. It's a song where if it's on the radio, I absolutely love it, and it's a throwback to 70s and everything, and also, there was a cast dinner for My School Musical, and I was in the car, with my friends, and we were, like, jamming out to that song, and I'm like, oh my god, I was just jamming out to this, and it's just such a fun song, such a fun performance. I'm so happy they did this song, because I said to myself, this is a song that Glee needs to do, and I'm very happy that they did it, because they all sounded really good. Marshall sounded really good. I'm trying to think of all their names. Samantha sounded really good. That's who plays Jane. and Noah sounded really good. They all sounded very, very good, and I thought they all sounded amazing in that song. So Spencer ends up recruiting Alistair to actually join the Glee Club, which I thought was surprising. And Roderick actually does end up losing weight and things like that. He tells him that he's gonna, he's gonna eat better and things like that. I just kind of felt like it was out of place. I really did. And that might have just been because of how much I was into the third plot of this episode, which legitimately was one of the funniest things they have done all season. Madison, Mason, and Jane. I loved this plot, I have to say. This was the saving grace for me in this episode. If this plot would not have been in there, this would have been an episode. Because of this plot, if this would have been the whole episode, I would have absolutely loved this episode. Because Madison, Mason, and Jane, I loved what was going on with them. Mason wants to get a date with Jane, but because of Madison being so overbearing, basically he can't get a date with Jane, and we find out why Madison's so overbearing, and I like that they legitimately told us this, because everyone's been wondering, are Madison and Mason together? Are they a thing? What's going on with them? No, we find out what's going on with them this episode, and I actually like what happened to them. Their parents are more concerned about theater and performing and singing and things like that. So they really didn't have parents. They were away all the time. So Madison has basically been a second mother to Mason, and that is why they are so close. And I actually kind of like that reveal. Some people said Madison was kind of annoying. I just thought of it as like someone that was just overbearing. She's looked over Mason all her life, and he really is like a second son to her. Even though he's her brother, she looks out for him. She's very protective of him. And she's just looking out for him. She doesn't really realize that she's being annoying, and I like seeing that with Madison and Mason. So Mason wants to sort of get her out of the way, get her to just focus on something else, because he's tired of her constantly covering up for him, constantly doing these things for him. So she decides to possibly get him a date with Roderick, and Roderick, I thought that was kind of funny, but it really doesn't go anywhere. Apparently, during Jagged Little Tapestry, that when Mason and Jane sang, he had to convince Madison to actually let him sing with Jane, and Madison sang with Roderick, which I thought was kind of interesting. So Madison and him are in the lunch line, and I love the line where basically, I love the line where that kid is like, you Glee Clubbers just can't get out of the way. Like, they're literally cutting in front of him. It was so funny to see. And Madison's yelling at Mason about how she's always been there for him, and there was this incident with gummy bears, and he had diarrhea because of it. It was so funny, and just, she's so much like a mom to him, and I love that about Madison. I never thought of her as being so motherly, but when you think of Madison, she really is like a mother to him. She really is. It's so funny to think of, because this is his sister, and she's like a mother to him, and it's hilarious. And I have to say, the girl that plays her handled that very, very well. And this was by far their best acting, definitely. I think that she was absolutely hilarious in this episode. Jane is completely overthrown by him. She thinks that Madison is just, basically, she does not want to go on a date with Mason because she doesn't want to interfere with him and Madison. She has no idea what's going on there. I love that she's just, like, completely in the dark about it. I think that's really funny, and I definitely really enjoyed that. And basically, what ends up happening is Mason ends up yelling at Madison, telling her to just leave him alone. He doesn't really care about her anymore. And he ends up performing at, basically, he ends up basically performing. And there was a thing where he wanted to go on a date with Jane, but she said to not go on a date with her because of cheerleading and how he needed to be in shape for that and things like that. And I really like seeing that. I thought that was very funny to see. I love that he thought that she would interfere. She's talking about her legs and how she is and how she's going to overshadow him. All her excuses were just so funny. I loved all of her excuses. So Mason performs at the bar mitzvah. He sings I Want to Break Free, which was by far the best song of the episode, I have to say. That was an amazing performance, and that was Mason's breakthrough. I have to say, this was his breakthrough episode. This was the episode where he was just like, breakout. I have to say, out of all of the newbies, the guy that plays Mason is the best actor on the show. Spencer Marshall Williams kind of falls flat at times. Noah Guthrie kind of falls flat at times. He's a good character, but he falls flat at times. But the guy that plays Mason is really, really good in this show, I have to say. He is doing he is awesome as a performer. Like, I really want to see that guy perform in concert. That guy has an actual band, I believe, and I really want to see him perform in concert because he is awesome. He knows how to work a crowd, and just the girls are going nuts for me, getting signatures. It was an awesome performance, I have to say, and Madison sees how talented he is, and I love the conversation between the two of them. It was just so sweet, and I loved it, and basically Madison tells him how she is legitimately sorry for what she did, but she really does care about him, and that she just didn't really want to see another woman in his life except her because she's been there for him so much, and now she thinks that he doesn't really need her. And I love that he tells her, yeah, I do need you. I just need you to step back a little and dial it down a few notches. And I really like that he said that to her because, yeah, she does need to sort of just like not be there as much. And I like seeing him do that, definitely. I thought that was very well done, and I definitely really enjoyed that. And basically at the end, she says, look, I'm going to let you do what you want to do, and she says she's always going to be there for him, and just, I love their storyline. I love the way it ended. I don't like that it just ended in the middle of the episode, because I would have wanted to see a little bit more of it, but I still really enjoyed it, and I thought it was really good, and it was a saving grace the episode for me, definitely. So overall, guys, this episode was very 50-50 for me. One of the plots I did not like at all. The other plot I thought was okay. The other plot I absolutely loved. Jane, Mason, Madison, give them more. I will love that. Stop making Sue the devil. Just stop. Give her something else to do. I'm sick of seeing her this way. I will say, the next week's episode looks legitimately kind of funny. Because I know next week's episode, all these secrets unravel for Sue. It looks kind of funny, but this episode was filler. It was. Most of it revolved around a kid's bar mitzvah. Where does that get them? I understand they want them to be able to perform, but hello, invitationals? Like, invitationals. You perform there. You got all this applause and things like that. Like, what? Why would they be scared? I understand why they did it, but they could have done this in, like, 15 minutes. It did not need to go a whole episode. You don't have to have a whole episode revolved around a kid's bar mitzvah. I'm sorry, but you didn't, and it was dumb. It really was filler, and it went nowhere, except for Myron joining the Glee Club, which I will never buy. I don't want to see him. I know we have to see him for the next few episodes. Just please don't give him any dialogue. Don't give him any kind of storyline, because I don't want to see this kid give much at all. If he's in the Glee Club in the background, fine, but I really want to see the others, come more front, which I like seeing this episode. I like seeing Spencer and Roger got development, because I do like their characters. I think that Spencer and Roger's storyline just fell flat a little bit. You know, it just fell a little out of place just because the other two were so more prevalent to the storyline. That one just felt kind of out of place to me, definitely. And the other thing I will say is that the first half of this episode flowed really well, and the second half of this episode kind of came crashing down because it focused on the bar mitzvah, and it kept going in between different performances, and the first half flowed a lot better than the second half of this episode. If the second half of this episode was more like the first half, I would have really liked this episode, because I legitimately was enjoying the bar mitzvah plot. I was enjoying Sue being tormented by Myron. I thought when she got kicked in the leg, I was like laughing hysterically, because I love seeing Sue get her basically comeuppance. It's hilarious to see, because that's what you want to see from Sue. You want to see Sue in pain and things like that. You want to see it happen to Sue. So I thought that was really funny to see, and I definitely really enjoyed that. But seeing Myron just was so annoying. I really like what they're doing with Will and Rachel, that Will is really helping out Rachel and telling her that she needs to be there for the kids. Definitely, I'm enjoying that. I definitely really, as I said, I loved Mason, Madison, and Jane. That's really great to see. The songs this episode were really good. They already released the songs for next week's episode. They're so much better than these. I'd have to say that. They're so much better than these songs. Cool Kids was great. I Want to Break Free was great. Break Free was okay. I mean, Sheldon killed it, I have to say. Break Free. Sheldon killed it, and Dawn Marie Jones has just come so far, I have to say. That is a fact. That is a known fact, and I love that. So this episode was very 50-50 for me, as I said. Let me know what you guys saw this episode. That's really all I have to say about this episode. It was very filler. It did not really have to be there, but it was fun overall. I love the Jane, Madison, and Mason plot. We have 4 episodes left. I know, 4 episodes. And how do I feel about these 4 episodes? What they need to do with these 4 episodes is give me storylines that I actually care about. Don't give me shit with Myron that I don't give a shit about, because I legitimately don't give 2 shits about his character. So give me stuff that I actually care about, and not stuff like this. Give me a story that actually makes sense. And there are 4 episodes left. Next week's episode looks really good. I am looking forward to it. And then the week after that's sectionals. And then the week after that, one is in the past, and then it's the series finale. So that's my review. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys saw this episode. Did you feel as filler as I did? I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be for a movie review. So I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.